Tuesday, the U.S. announced its delegation for the upcoming Winter Olympic Games in Russia. Neither Barack Obama, his family, nor members of his cabinet will attend the Sochi Games, but he is sending a handful of openly gay delegates, including tennis legend Billie Jean King and figure skater Brian Boitano. It's a snub to Russia after it recently reaffirmed its anti-gay laws. Jim Spellman joins us live from the White House with details. Jim?
Mike, the White House says that naming these openly gay former athletes as delegates to the Olympic Games is not intended to send a message to Russia, but that message is being heard all the same. In a move many see as a rebuke to Russia's so-called anti-gay propaganda laws, U.S. President Barack Obama has appointed 2 openly gay athletes to the U.S. Olympic delegation.
In the selection of this delegation, we are sending the message that the United States is a diverse place, and this delegation represents that diversity.
Tennis legend Billie Jean King and hockey player Caitlin Cahill will travel to Sochi, Russia when the games begin in February. But the president, as well as the First Lady and Vice President Joe Biden, will be staying home in what many perceive as another jab against the controversial Russian laws. The moves are being warmly received by gay rights advocates like Brent Minor, who heads Team DC, an association of gay athletes.
We couldn't be more pleased. I think it sends a real statement. Number one, that the president and the vice president are not going, but making this statement of sending Billie Jean King and others there who are openly gay and lesbian, what it sends is that this is a value to us. This is important to us as a nation, and not just saying that, but putting some action behind it.
Olympic Games have long served as a stage for political drama. In 1968, black American athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised gloved fists from the Mexico City medal platform in a Black Power salute. And in 1980, the U.S. and dozens of other countries boycotted the Summer Olympics in Moscow in protest over the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. For the Sochi Games, athletes who support gay rights are being encouraged by activists to hold hands with their same-sex competitors and teammates in a quiet expression of solidarity.
That sends a very subtle message that, you know, we are supportive and we are standing united with the gay and lesbian community worldwide.
A message they hope will continue to resonate long after the games end. Russian officials say that these laws are merely intended to keep sexual material away from minors, away from young people, and this whole controversy is extremely overblown. Now, that's of course not good enough for gay rights advocates here in the U.S., who had originally, some of them, called for the U.S. to boycott the games over these laws, but they now say that the sending of these openly gay delegates, and maybe if this hand-holding protest catches on, that both of those things could send more powerful messages ultimately than if they had boycotted the games. Mike?
And how are the gay athletes in Russia dealing with all of this?
Well, they say that they're not going to push the issue during the Olympic Games. Instead, they're staging their own games, which they're calling the Open Games. They'll open in Moscow just 3 days after the Olympics end. They're in Sochi. Those games, the Open Games, are bound to push and test these Russian laws against what they call anti-gay propaganda, Mike.
And Jim Spellman overlooking the White House with that live report. Thanks so much.